Day I'm hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, 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 hustling.
Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. If you're new here, we're going to go over the news first, and then we're going to go into the charts, the TA, and then we're going to get into your guys' questions. Without any further ado, let's bring the action. Okay, top story is Visa Bridge announced new stablecoin link card coming to Latin America. So this is a big deal. So it's going to be with USDC and other things, and we're going to start to see the merge of the old system bridging into the new system. And I am pretty excited for this. This makes things more convenient. This makes things more speed. And this brings more and more institutional money into the game, which is a big deal. Nothing is everything, but everything is something. President Trump says Treasury Secretary Basement is negotiating new trade deals with over 200 countries. And we've talked about this a little bit. Everyone assumes that the trade wars is going to be negative. It's going to cause this great grand recession. Dow Jones stock market's going to crash to the likes which we've never seen before. Right? All these things. But what if, hear me out, what if the trade negotiations actually long-term benefit everyone? And this is much ado about nothing. And Bitcoin actually bottomed like we talked about. I think there's a reasonable plausibility that that is the case. North Carolina, this is a big deal. North Carolina passes bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So this passed the Senate, from my understanding, and the governor is the last one that it needs to pass. This means whatever revenue that North Carolina is going to be bringing in, they would be buying Bitcoin with the excess. Everything is something. Nothing is everything. So this is a something thing. MicroStrategy strategy to raise $84 billion to purchase more Bitcoin. To put that in perspective, when Germany sold their Bitcoin, it was less than that. It was $44 billion, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if he's going to actually be able to do this or not. But if he does, this is massive. This is a lot of money. More money than what Germany held and what sold when they created a local bottom. So we'll see. I'll keep an eye on this story. We'll see what comes of this. Solana led all blockchains in revenue generation for Q1 of 2025. And this is the reason that I think that slowly, surely, inevitably, Solana and other DeFi ecosystems are going to chip away at Ethereum. Now, we're going to talk about Ethereum later on in the show. However, I do think eventually Solana is going to dethrone Ethereum. And it's as simple as you follow the money, you can see what the truth is. You follow the money, you can see what the truth is. Okay? Tether has announced they brought in $1 billion of profit in Q1 of 2025. But I thought Tether was going to depeg, Ski. That's what I heard. They're going to depeg and they're going to zero. And that's going to cause the big one. That's what's going to bring Bitcoin back to 30K, Ski. Well, apparently not. Because if you make $1 billion in one quarter, that's a big deal. Do they have an infinite money glitch? Yes. Yes, they do. Are they exploiting an infinite money glitch? Yes. Yes, they are. Are they doing anything other than what the governments are doing? No. No, they are not. No, they are not. All right, and with that, let's get into the charts, y'all. All right, and then I'm going to get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns, and we'll go to the chat. All right, let's start off with Bitcoin. It's at $96,286 as of the time of recording. It is May 1st, 2025. And it seems clear to me that Bitcoin has gotten its sign of strength, and it is deep in sign of strength, and perhaps is starting phase E. Perhaps is starting phase E. And what am I talking about? Of course, we are talking about right here. So we can even see I was very crystal clear that Bitcoin Spring had already came in. That was the $74,400. To me, that was exactly what happened. Where I was less clear about was, were we at the test? Were we at the LPS? Were we at the SOS? I was less clear about that, but I did state the sign of strength would take us to about $95,000 to $100,000, and here we are. And not only that, but you would anticipate a little bit of chop at the SOS, which is what we got, especially looking on the 5-hour chart. That seems to be the very, very clear picture. So I'm not calling this to be the Mark E, which is what you would call the bull run, but it looks like it. Okay, now there's a couple critical levels that we got to get above. All of this is going to be resistance. I do not anticipate us to just break right through it the first time. I don't think so. I think that we're going to get rejected. The 702 is going to be a critical level, which is going to be $100,000. So this is a critical level with Fibonacci's, and this is going to be a critical level psychologically. Anytime you get to these psychological numbers, typically it's a hard pass to get through it the very first time. So I don't anticipate us to just break right through it, but the plausibility is definitely there. And this is one thing that we've talked about in the past is things are boring until they're not. Grueling down until it's not. And when you get into the until it's not phase, it's very quick, it's very violent. When Bitcoin likes to reverse, people think they're just going to have forever. That's not what Bitcoin tells us it does. It's boring, boring, boring until it is not. The until it is not is very violent. And I talked about this in a short earlier. This is going to be a hated rally, in my opinion, whether we break through this or not. I think that we're going to get rejected, but it's there. Like, it's boring, boring, boring until it's not. And what I do know is retail is not on board with a rally until we have fully rallied past tense. For perspective, what we did from 74.4 to 97K, that's 4 years, 5 years of stock market gains. It's already done it. And a lot of y'all was asleep. The next macro target, though, whether we break through it the first time or we get rejected and reconsolidate, the next macro target for me for Bitcoin is $118,000. That would be the micro or the macro 1618, which is price discovery. That is where I'm keeping my eye on. And the big thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye on too is Bitcoin Dominance. To me, still working on the UTAD. But we do have a bearish divergence right now for Bitcoin Dominance. And this, of course, is what everyone's waiting for. This is what everyone wants. Everyone wants Bitcoin Dominance to fall off a cliff because that means your altcoins are going to be rising. It has not happened yet. We have not broken this uptrend yet. We haven't even started going down yet. But there are early signs that this is a bearish divergence. And what do I mean? The price is rising as the RSI is on a downtrend. Okay? And of course, this is the buying climax, automatic rally, up thrust, UTAD. This is the reverse of accumulation. Accumulation is the bottoming structure. Distribution is a topping structure. We're just waiting to see a little chink in the armor. But the good news is, though, we do have some early support or help with Ethereum finally breaking the downtrend. Now, I don't think it's going to be just off. Good night, Charlene. However, Ethereum has been suppressed and beaten down for months and months and months. And so it's boring, boring, boring until it's not. In the medium term, though, I do anticipate at least a dead cat bounce to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement for Ethereum, which is going to be about $3,000. We have finally broken this downtrend. Finally broken this downtrend. It's been months, and everything that's been in the ETH ecosystem has just been absolutely crushed because of it. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on this, and I do think with a rise with Ethereum to $3,000, you're really going to feel that with Rose, Theta, VeChain, Link, Quant, all these coins that Flux that are in the ecosystem of Ethereum, and this lackluster performance that we've gotten from Ethereum, I think are very much going to feel the heat of the sun while we're rising. Bitcoin, excuse me, not Bitcoin dominance, but Ethereum dominance is finally getting a little bit of support here. This, of course, is a 5-year low. Okay, we need this to start to rise here and break this downtrend. I do think that this is the selling climax. The Dow Jones has had 8 days of green in a row, which is insane. And we're already at the dead cat bounce number of the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. So the question is, are we going to roll over? We've already printed a higher low, though, and this is now a higher high. So is this going to be a clean reversal? The big number is getting above the 702 Fibonacci retracement, which is going to be $42,600. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because typically crypto trades with the Dow Jones. Sometimes it's a beat ahead or a beat behind, but generally you don't see one without the other. I do think that there will be a scenario where that eventually happens, but as of right now, what we really see from Bitcoin is 45 days after the Dow Jones makes an all-time high, Bitcoin makes an all-time high too. Everyone talks about the 4-year cycle and all of this and that, but really the strongest correlation that we see is Dow Jones making an all-time high, Bitcoin makes an all-time high within 45 days of that. That's what we really see. Okay, and the thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye on too, this clearly to me is a bottom. I mean, it's super overheated. I'm talking about the DXY on the daily now, which measures the strength of the US dollar. This generally trades inversely with crypto and the stock market. Now, this was a bottom to me. However, where are we going to go from here? Is it just going to be a dead cat bounce? Are we going to roll over at 102, 103? This was 3 years of support, and we broke through it. So is the support going to become resistance? I'm rooting for that because that would be good for crypto. That would be good for the Dow Jones. That's what I anticipate, but I do anticipate a little bit of a bounce, at least to 102, 103. And gold also trades inversely with the stock market, with cryptocurrency. And I said at 3,300 that I sold 30% of my gold, because this to me was a topping structure and we had a bearish divergence. Now, I don't think that this is just going to fall off a cliff and good night, Charlene, or anything like that. I anticipate gold to chop sideways, which is going to be enough for risk on assets, in my opinion. All this is happening while M2 on China is just vertical, just straight up erect vertical, while M2 is making an all-time high. So all the stipulations are there. The storm is there for something very, very good. And the last thing that I'm keeping my eye on is XRP. I think that the cryptocurrency market has definitely bottomed. But the only thing that I have concerns with XRP is it's been following this fractal since 2023. And at some point it's going to break. But if it doesn't, we could get a back test even to $1 for XRP. I don't necessarily anticipate that that's going to happen. If it does happen, though, I will be adding to my spot position on XRP. My average price is about 20-something cents. I sold at $3.33. I sold 40% of my XRP. If we come back to $1, I'm adding to my spot position. If we don't, confirmation of breaking from this fractal is going to be $2.60. That would be confirmation that we have broken free and we are doing something else. And if that happens, I would just continue my normal exit strategy on XRP, which is going to be $5, $8, and $12. This is a big deal for me for the altcoins and Bitcoin dominance. This is why I'm paying so much attention to it, because not only Ethereum, but XRP too, in order for Bitcoin dominance to start to really fall over, we need to see the Solana to wake up, which it's starting to wake up. We need to see Ethereum wake up, which is starting to wake up. And ultimately, we need XRP as well. With that, let's get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. All right. That was a banger. Let's get into it, y'all. What do we got? What did I miss? I wasn't reading any of the comments. I was just giving you guys my full spiel. We got another. Okay, I blocked him. Okay, good. Let's see here. There's only 195 countries in existence, and they're all at the table. You'd love to see it. And you wonder why your money going into crypto right now, into the rich pockets, LOL. I don't know, bro. I opened my long at 74.4 at the bottom. 78, actually. Retail, yes, I would agree. That is what retail does. They wait until things are all-time highs and then they start buying. That's the worst thing to do. This is why I like Wyckoff accumulation, because Wyckoff understands who the hell is in charge of the money. Who's in charge of the game? Why do I like Wyckoff so much? Richard D. Wyckoff created this method of analyzing the market over 100 years ago. I did not create it. And he had the fundamental realization that stock price trends were driven primarily by institutional and other large operators who manipulate stock prices in their favor. The game was rigged from the start. Don't play the game like it's fair. Play the game like it is. Play it like it lies. Play it as it lies. Play it as it lies. Good evening. Banger. Hey, time. To long or short is the question. That is the question. That is the question. And mostly I'm in longs. How you feeling about coins like Rose that have made lower lows? Did not take out the sign of strength. Hope that makes sense. I appreciate you, Ski. Ultimately, those coins are just waiting for Ethereum, in my opinion. Ski, what up, bro? What was your price prediction for DOT? Again, we'll take a look at it. I like the news update start. Thanks, Matt. I'll be honest, I don't care that much about the news, but I know y'all do. So we'll start like that if that's what you guys like. Solana to 1K. LOL. I don't think Solana goes to 1K. My target for Solana is $400 to $500. I think is more reasonable. A man can dream. Yeah, right. Do you know when Solnic will be with the on-chain labs? Development is development. Okay, I cannot speed up development. They told us May, or they told us April. So it's May Day today. So I'll get an update on them. I know it's very, very close. But again, like, you don't want to rush out a bad product that's not ready. So, and I understand that because we're developing for Solnic as well. I can tell you it's soon, and I can tell you I'll get an update. They're at the Solana conference, and my understanding is they wanted the Solana to be ready for that. So I'll get an update from them today. Bitcoin has turned 96 into support so far today. Yes, today, but today is not how I analyze the market. I will say in the micro, it's overheated a little bit, but it's boring until it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's boring until it is not. I say we go to 105, then back down, way down. Unemployment is headed way up. What up, Ski? Price prediction for Crow. Do you think it will reach all-time high again? I think it's very plausible. I like Crow's chart a lot. I bought my bag at 35K. What happened to OM? It went to 0. OM was the sacrificial lamb, in my opinion. Right? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Sacrificial lamb. Okay? During the spring. Actually, we need to do it like... We need 4 of them. I think I can have 4. Okay. So during the spring of Bitcoin, OM went to 0, right? During the spring of Bitcoin, OM went to 0. Let me find OM. Where is it? So this was April 7th, 2025. That was the spring of Bitcoin. What am I talking about the spring? I'm, of course, talking about Wyckoff accumulation, which measures a bottom. Let's get a clean chart here. So the spring, OM went to 0. Okay, this was the same time. Okay, the spring of Bitcoin in 2022, which is Wyckoff accumulation, which is a bottoming structure. What happened? This was the spring right here. This is your selling climax and your spring. Who went to 0? Who was sacrificed? FTX went to 0 for the spring. All right. So to me, this was even double confirmation that Bitcoin's bottom was in, because you had a sacrificial lamb. Retail get those checks tomorrow. Is near going to hit $20? I think that's... I don't know. Let me take a look. Ski, when you say retail, are you not retail? We bought during the December also when Bitcoin was 78K. I'm retail. I also bought when Bitcoin was at 16K. I don't move like retail, though. I get things wrong. 9 times I've said that the bottom was in. 8 times I was correct on the day. 1 time I got it wrong in February. I had a misread in February. You think we're dropping hard next week after the Fed meeting? It could be. I think in the micro, we're a little bit overheated. But in the macro, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was so over suppressed. It's plausible that we just don't have a huge thing. Ultimately, I think that we're starting the SOS. Excuse me, the markup. I'm selling at 250. 250K. Can LRC hit $3? Should we be holding or selling alts right now, in your opinion? I'm accumulating. Can you chart Sonic? What's the next leg? Sonic looks beautiful to me. Higher low structure. Clean breakout. Okay, this was a markdown. Then you had a clean breakout. You had a clean bullish divergence. You broke out of there. You went to the retrace, back test of the prior range. All of this is support, higher low structure. The next leg will take us north of 30 million. That's just a micro leg. What did you say about near? Didn't hear. Is that the M2 money supply? M2 money supply is all-time high. Bitcoin has turned... Yeah, we just talked about that. Dot prediction. I noticed that all the drug stocks were down today, but people take their medications once. Quant doing nice. Yeah, I think Quant's a good value here. What's the best way to chart using log or linear? All in money. Listen, here's the truth. Here's a cop-out answer, but the truth is, figure out where you see things. Okay? My way of analyzing the market is not the end-all, be-all, know-all, tell-all for the right price. In reality, you should take what tools that you like, that bring value, and add that to your toolbox. If you see things clearlier at log, then use log. If you see things clearly at linear, then use linear. I use linear because I have log. To me personally, it makes me a little bit too biased to the upside personally. But that doesn't mean that log or linear is right or wrong. But I'm a firm believer in not getting shiny object syndrome. So if you have something that works definedly clearly for you, then keep using it. So I know you don't like ETH and it needs to perform for alts. So question is, next cycle, do we stay away from things on ETH? Yeah, I think so. Yes, I think that's a very valid point because I don't think that the next. I could be wrong. I could be comically, laughably wrong, Tony. But I don't think that, you know, the way that it's just chipping away, like Solana and XRP and all these other ones are chipping away at Ethereum revenue. I don't think that Ethereum is number 2 the next cycle. So I do think that that's a good way of looking at the market. Now, we'll see what Ethereum does with their updates. Supposedly, they're really working hard on the scalability on layer 1, not just layer 2. So we'll see what they do. Ultimately, right now, they do have first mover advantage. And if they can fix things, then they will still be the first mover. But if they don't, me personally, just let me answer the question with me personally. I don't think Ethereum is number 2 this next cycle, and I'm not going to be in the ETH ecosystem. We'll see what that does. I'll have some Quant, I'll have some VeChain, I'll have some Link and some other coins in the ecosystem as a hedge and coins that I believe in outside of Ethereum. However, most of what I'm going to be doing is going to be Solana, HBAR, XRP as far as altcoins, and then obviously Bitcoin. So hopefully that answers your question. But I think that that is a right, correct way of thinking about it. Algo. I think Algo's fine here. Sonic contract address, XTZ9. Sonic's my number 1 100x play. What are you genuine thoughts on Raoul Pal? I don't have any thoughts on other men. Polkadot, W stream brother. All right, we'll look at Polkadot. People have been asking me. All the countries at the table, they're printing monopoly money. That's right. Good evening. Do you think WIF will reach all-time high again? Probably not, but it could retrace and have lots of gains. XYO price prediction is 10 cents. Yes, that is correct, John. Is it weird that on-chain sounds off the chain? Sup, Ski? How are you feeling about Matic chart? I think Matic chart is fine. When will people stop sleeping on this great content? Dan, I don't know. I say it all the time. My content is not for everybody, but it is for the right people. It's not for everybody, but it's for the right people. Dot. Listen, Dot has the same setup. We talked about this. Dot has the same setup, okay? We'll do the quads. We'll do the quad chart here. Can we do 5? Oh! Okay. All right, so on the top left, we're going to do Dot because that's what I was asked about. In the top right, we're going to do Bitcoin, which is the example. We can also use render, but I'm just going to do Bitcoin. And we're going to show 2013. So this is the same setup. A lot of coins had this setup in the past and are currently working on this setup. Dot would be one of the coins presently working on the same setup. On the bottom right, I know I'm in the way of this one. Okay. I'm going to, real quick, for this moment, I'm going to make my thing go away just so I can do this. I'll make my camera go away just for a sec. Because I think this is a little bit more important than my face. I know it's beautiful and you guys love it so much, but This is a little bit more important. All right, so we'll do ADA right here. Make this a little bit bigger. And on the bottom right, we'll do, it doesn't matter. There's so many coins that look like this, it's not even funny. We'll do Crow. Someone asked me about Crow earlier. Okay, these all have the same structure. So the example is going to be Bitcoin from 2013 through present. So the top right is Bitcoin from 2013 through present. The top left is DOT from 2021 through present. ADA on the bottom left, 2021 through present. Crow on the bottom right, 2021 through present. Bitcoin is the example because it shows us the structure on how this likes to play out. Okay, so you have your parabolic rise, your mark down. Okay, mark down is what we call a bear market. In Wyckoff, you call that the mark down. Same thing, mark down, mark down, mark down. Let's make this crystal clear for y'all. Mark down. Accumulation is bottoming structure. Accumulation, accumulation. Sign of strength for Bitcoin in 2016. Sign of strength, back test, back test, back test. Then you get a move higher, DOT, which is the original question that I was asked, goes higher than the sign of strength, goes higher than the sign of strength, move higher, goes higher than the sign of strength, and Bitcoin, of course, move higher, goes higher than the sign of strength. Then you get a violent back test, back test, back test, back test, reaccumulate, and you start to gruel your way higher until you make an all-time high, and then it goes violently into the Mark E phase. So to me, that's what's next for all of these coins, is the grueling up until you start to make another high, and then it's going to be a violent move higher. That is what I anticipate. All right, I'm back. ICP has the same setup too. ICP has the same setup. Scott, thank you for the popularity and the heart. Irish Dano, thank you for the donut, bro. Raul, thanks for the GGs, you savages.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Okay. The main man. What's up, Izzy? What indicators you use to trade? I don't use indicators. I use support, resistance. I use Wyckoff as the main thing I use. I use Fibonacci's for key levels. But to answer your question, I'll look at RSI and different things like that, but I don't use those to trade. If that makes sense. Are you still doing lives with Alex on Fridays? Yes, we will be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time to 10:30. What do you think a good entry point on VeChain is? I'm in a long currently on VeChain right now. If it depends on your time horizon, I think that it's still a good macro entry, right? It's a little hot. It's still a good macro entry though. Micro, not as much. Because ultimately, I think it goes a minimum to 20 cents. Excuse me. I highly doubt alts get to December levels again this year. That's what I said. It's going to be a doubtful, hated rally. A doubtful, hated rally from retail. Helium Mobile price prediction. Need Dent, VeChain, and Rose to rise up. Thoughts on dog with hat? Someone asked me about WIF earlier. They asked me, can WIF make an all-time high? And the answer is, I don't think it will necessarily, but it will retrace. This is, to me, working on a bottoming structure at this point. For sure. This is definitely a bottoming structure here. Retracement is about 270, and there's money to be made on a retracement. That's a 4x. If it goes parabolic, you're looking at $10. Can you check Cardano? Cardano has the same setup. We just looked at Cardano, but I really like Cardano a lot. It has the Bitcoin setup from 2013. Same setup. This is a setup that I'm looking for. All right, let's show it again. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha real smooth now. Same setup. On the top is Bitcoin. From 2013 through 2017. On the bottom, we will do ADA. Okay. And you don't need to be a nerd like me, but just know you have your markdown. That's a bear market. Markdown. Accumulation is just a round bottom. A rounded bottoming structure. A long period of grueling and boring. That's accumulation. Sign of strength is you finally break out of that bottom. Sign of strength, sign of strength. Backtest, reaccumulate. Backtest, reaccumulate. Move higher than the sign of strength. Move higher than the sign of strength. Then you backtest again. In my opinion, ADA structurally is somewhere in here. That's where it is. Okay, and then we would want to see just grueling higher until it makes an all-time high, and then it's going to be violent. And I think ultimately ADA gets to $6 to $8. Price prediction on Cardano. There you go. $6 to $8. That is my price prediction. Pega, thanks for the heart, bro, and the ice cream, yes, savages.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Helium Mobile. May you look at my question from earlier. Jo, what was your question? I don't see your question. What's your price prediction for Bitcoin after it hits a new all-time high? Back to 75? It depends on how high it goes. It depends on how high it goes, bro. If it goes to 207, it could go all the way back to 50. If it only goes to 118, probably in the 70s, yeah. It depends on how high it goes. Because listen, here's the truth of the matter. Everyone wants a straight line up. Everyone wants a straight line up, right? Until you get it. And what does that mean? Every yin, there's a yang. Okay? Every yin, there is a yang. So, in reality, the reason why, like, people were talking out of both sides of their mouth, right? What were they saying? That this was the worst bull market of all time for Bitcoin. It's like, okay, I'll buy that for $1. If you want to sell me that, I'll buy it. If it's the worst bull market of all time, fine, I'll buy it. But that also means you're not going to fall at a crazy level. Because what causes violent bear markets is violent bull markets. That's what it is. Everyone wants violent bull markets. No one wants the violent bear markets. But what causes a violent bear market is a violent bull market, because it creates an imbalance in the market that must be fulfilled. So this was really a balance. That's why we only came back to 74.4. Because it wasn't violent. That's why we're deep in the bottoming structure. That's why we're past the bottoming structure. So hopefully that answers your question. The reality is it depends on how high this leg takes us and how imbalanced it is. If we get there violently to 200,000, we can absolutely come back violently again. If we just chop up, it's not going to be as violent. You can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it. Cannot have your cake and eat it. I'm sorry. I do not make the rules. Price prediction on ETH and Solana. My price prediction for ETH is minimum 3,300. Maximum or medium is 7,200. Maximum is 15,000. Can you look at AXGT? What's the inflation on this? Solana 4 to 500. Someone asked me my thoughts on Elliott Wave. Elliott Wave. I like Elliott Wave. I'm not a master at Elliott Wave like I am Wyckoff. That's not my expertise. I know Elliott Wave. I definitely pay mind to it and I pay attention to it. I think Elliott Wave personally, you find more merit, or you find more not merit. You find it more in the stock market than you do in crypto. I think that you find Wyckoff a little bit more in crypto, but I like them both. I'm not a master at Elliott Wave the same way that I am at Wyckoff, though. Ski still haven't sold any Solnic. Let's go, brother. All right. What is the inflation on this? Market cap is 19. FDV is 104. So lots of inflation on this, bro. I don't mind the chart, though. Accumulation, sign of strength to the retracement, back test. The chart doesn't look too bad to me, but that's a lot of inflation. I would anticipate a retracement to 72 cents. That's still a 7x, though. Is Mana still the game? Dynex still good? I think so. I think Dynex is finally working on a bottoming structure, Earl. Thoughts on Pinlink? I think Pinlink is working on a bottoming structure, too. People gave me a lot of flack for Pinlink. They said I hated Pinlink. I did not hate Pinlink. When you guys were asking me about Pinlink, no joke, I promise you, no joke. I promise this is what the chart looked like. I'm not even kidding. I swear on everything. This is what the chart looked like when you guys were asking me about Pinlink. And I was like, for the love of God, please take profit. That's what I was saying. That doesn't mean I hate Pinlink. I just did not. I hated the value of Pinlink. But now, this is distribution. This is your markdown. We have broken the downtrend, firmly working on accumulation. This is a bottoming structure, in my opinion. The next reasonable thing is going to be your sign of strength, which is going to be about $1.36. Come back to about a dollar before you start your Mark E. Minimum retracement would be about $3. And then parabolic would be about $10. I think that this is a clean bottoming structure, though. Crow, I like Eric. Eric, I like Crow a lot. It has the same setup as ADA. It has the same setup that we talked about, that we've been talking about. Please make Flux go up. I got you, bro. Thoughts on Doge? I think Doge gets to $1.11 or $2.22. ADA, I just did ADA TA, $68. Do you think it's too late to get into some of these cryptos you're talking about? Okay, general rule of thumb, Eric Wolf. General rule of thumb. This isn't gospel, but this is a general rule of thumb. And I do think that there's a lot of really good values if you're patient enough and you're not overexposed. So listen, here we go. I'm gonna outline the stipulations where this will work for you. You're not maxing out your credit cards. You're not borrowing money. You're not leveraging yourself in a way where you need this next week, next month. That's not the way to play this game. That is how you get yourself in trouble. So if that is the stipulation where you're at, okay, go to step 2. Step 2, like, can we wait? Can we be patient? Can we be in a place where we can afford to be patient? If the answer is yes, then step 2 is going to be checking inflation. Easiest way to do that is pick any coin. It does not matter. And look at the market cap of the coin and the FDV. You want these to be in the same flavor. You don't want them to be a huge discrepancy, right? So there's a little bit. So 1.9 trillion is the market cap on Bitcoin. The FDV is 2 trillion. That's because there's still another million or so Bitcoin that will be inflated over the next 100 years or whatever it is, right? You want these numbers to be pretty close. That would mean good tokenomics. Okay, so that's step 2. So step 1, can I be patient? Do I need this next week, next month? Am I borrowing money from my father-in-law? Am I maxing out my credit cards? That's not the right answer. That's not the right formula. You're going to put yourself in a bad spot. The more patient you can be, the more success you're going to have. Okay? Step 2, check the tokenomics, inflation. If those are good, then go to step 3. And generally, if a coin, we'll use ADA for example, is below the 236 Fibonacci level, it's extreme value. ADA is below the 236. So to me, that's on a patient level. We're not talking next week, next month, right? Hear me. We're not talking next week, next month, maxing out your credit cards, borrowing money from your father-in-law. We're talking about what you can comfortably afford to be patient with. If it's below the 236 with good tokenomics, it's excellent value. And there's lots of coins that is the setup that they have. Even Ethereum is below the 236. ICP is below the 236. Link is below the 236. Doge is below the 236. Okay? So to answer your question, yes, there's plenty of opportunity in this market. But you need to have the right mentality. Okay? Where people screw up is they borrow money from their cousin. They borrow money from their mom, their grandma, their father-in-law because they don't have any patience because they want to be rich right now. They don't want to wait. You don't want to put in the work. You don't want to be patient. Though that is what screws you up. Can you afford to be in the wrong flavor for 6 months? No? This game ain't for you. If you can be patient, you will win this game. That's it. I borrowed from my local church as a crisis loan. Damn it. Thank you for the perfume, Nick, the dolphin, the donut, the GG, the tiny diny, brother. I appreciate you.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
What's your price target on Doge? 111, 222. So sorry, I missed you. I missed you too. What's the next leg up for Solnic? Minimum 30 plus million. That's the next micro leg. Ultimately, by the end of the bull run, I think Solnic gets above 7.5 cents minimum. Medium case is $1. Bull case is $5.89. Again, I'm patient. I will be patiently grinding on Solnic for the next 10 years. That is my strategy. Thoughts on LCX ski? I like LCX. LCX is a good setup as well. Below the 236. I sold the cat and dog to buy more Solnic. Let's go, bro. Let's freaking go.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
All-time highs for Bitcoin in May or June. What do you think? I think that we have a reasonable plausibility of making an all-time high in May. Yes. Says, damn, I remember when you called the last bottom and you nailed it. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Most people don't want to give me my flower. Most people, they just wait till I'm wrong or they just want to nail me. I appreciate it, bro. You'd be shocked at the amount of people that just hated that call. They hated it. Because the bottom never feels good. It never is going to feel like it's the bottom. It's always going to be scary. No Diddy. Will alt catch up? Yes. Thank you for the roses, bro.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Says, bro, you have an avocado tree? Bro, thanks for the roses. 116, 18. 120 roses. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Where are you trading at? I trade on BitUnext. You can use the link in my bio if you want to get free crypto and you want to support the channel. You don't have to. But if you want to support my channel, you can use the link in my bio. It is called BitUnext. No KYC. No VPN required. And they're pretty solid. I like them a lot. Someone asked me if I'm going to have an avocado tree on my farm. I don't think so. I don't think avocados can grow where I'm at. Algorand prediction. Algorand, Tyler, I put in the same category as HBAR. Super solid project. Past tense inflation. Not much in the future. Not much in the future. So I think it's going to perform very well in the future. $2 is the retracement. $8 is the parabolic. You think you're going into good or bad times? You think we are going into good or bad times? Okay. I understand what you're asking, but I'm going to give you my real answer. My real answer is I'm going into good times. And the reality is, you cannot change the world, but you can change your world, right? I can't change the world, but I can change my world. And my world has been changed. My world is abundance, love, bliss. So my world is good times. I can't speak for the entire world. I don't know. But my world is good times. Avocados are so bad for the environment. They say that about cows, but everywhere that I see cows, it just looks like the most beautiful nature ever. AVAX targets, I think it's 300. Where do I buy the coin? What coin are you trying to buy? Avocados are green gold. You'll corner the market. How to profit from stablecoin adoption. You can stake stablecoins. You can liquidity mine with stablecoins. Stationed in Japan, brother. Go Navy. Gotta have thoughts on Veracity. Thanks for your service, brother. My thoughts on Veracity is it's a solid fundamental project. However, I don't like the inflation on Veracity. And so for me, I am not interested in it as an investment rather than I'm interested in the technology and what they're trying to do. But as far as the investment, I'm not interested in Veracity because there's too much inflation for me personally. Price equals supply plus demand. And if the supply is a problem, it's going to be hard to catch up with that. So, and when we look at, okay, so and I'm just going to show you the easiest way to check out the tokenomics on a coin. Market cap versus FDV. You want these numbers to be similar in the same flavor. If they're off by 20, 30%, that's okay. That's in the same flavor to me. If it's off 20, 30, 40%, that's in the same flavor. What you don't want it to be off by 10x, though. That's not good, right? So for me, Veracity is a no-go at all because market cap to FDV, it's a literal 10x. So what does that mean? That means that the supply dumpage is 10x. So no thank you. It's a no-go for me. I have zero interest in Veracity as an investment. Someone asked me about VeChain. VeChain, I love VeChain right here. I think it's a super fundamental project, short-term and long-term. It's in my kids' portfolio. I'm in a current long on VeChain right now, but my macro targets are 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents, low, medium, high. Dogecoin $1.11 to 222. Avocados are part of the what? We started an avocado environment debate. Let me know in the comments. Ski, if we have a run in the coming months before 2026, I owe you a steak dinner. I'll take it. What phase of Doge is Wyckoff? Okay, Matt, these are the right questions. See, I like it. I like it, bro. These are the right questions. He didn't ask me when moon. He asked me what phase of Wyckoff is it in. This is a clean setup. Okay? I would say that this is the SOS, back test of the prior range, and the same move higher. You could classify this as the sign of strength here. I would say that this is the sign of strength, back test, move higher, back test again. So the next phase would be mark E. To me, this is the same structural setup as what we're talking about in for Bitcoin, right? I'm talking 20. So on the top is Dogecoin, on the bottom is Bitcoin, and again, it's the same thing. Dogecoin typically leads the market in a lot of ways, the altcoins at least. So this is the same structure, right? So on the top is Dogecoin 2021 through present day. This is the market cap, which is the true price of a coin. Markdown, accumulation, sign of strength, back test, reaccumulation, move higher, back test again. So somewhere in this neck of the woods, to me, is where Dogecoin is at. Do you trade meme coins? I don't. Your boy, what's up, bro? Bitcoin hitting 100K tomorrow night. It could be. So many good coins have the same chart. That's right, because it's going to be everything everywhere all at one time. Boring until it's not. So many coins have the same chart because they're all going to do the same thing at the same time. They all have the same chart because they're all going to do the same thing. They all have the same market makers. Maybe you don't like what I'm saying, but you can at least practically understand they all have the same market makers. So they're all going to do the same thing at the same time. Ski will have a bigger altcoin season in 2021 or it won't happen. I don't know if it's going to be bigger, but it's going to be there. It might be more controlled. It might be more institutionalized, which is going to be less violent. It's going to be more healthy distribution, but it's going to be easier to navigate. Way too many coins now, though. Yeah, but you could say the same thing from like 2013 to or 2017 through 2021, right? Is there more coins than 2021? Absolutely. There are. Is the growth percentage higher than from 2017 through 2021? I don't know that I could agree with that. Well done, steak. Bro, bro. You're about to get banned. Well done, steak with ketchup. Bro. Are you out of your mind? You can have your steak rare or medium rare. That is it. If you ask for steak well done at my house, you are banned. You're abolished. You're never invited back again. You cannot come back. You shall not back. Don't come back to my house again. Light the fuse. What up with ADA? I like it. ADA has the same setup too. What we just talked about with Doge. Same thing. Not in this channel. Do you use any sauce? If you cook the steak right, you don't need sauce. If you give it this is what I do with my steak. You guys can feel free to steal my recipe. 80% of the steak battle is picking a good steak. with good intermuscular marbling. That's 80% of it. I like a thick boy, 1.5 to 2 inches. I like a thick boy. Okay? I take kosher salt and I put it everywhere. You can't even see the steak. I brine it. You cannot see the steak. It's just white everywhere. 100%. Let it sit for an hour. Rinse it off. Dab it dry. Then you put your salt, your garlic, your pepper. That's it. You get that cast iron or your grill, cast iron, put some butter, put some olive oil, put some thyme. You get it red hot, as hot as it'll go. Put that thing on there 1.5 minutes, baste it, baste it, baste it, baste it, baste it, baste it. Flip it, 1.5 minutes, baste it, baste it, baste it, baste it. Put it in foil for 10 minutes, and she's ready. That's it. The best steak you'll ever have. All right? Our drum is doing well. I said that our drum, I think, is bottomed. We have done 5 waves. Are you aware of that? I'm not an Elliott wave guy. 2 weeks to pump, follow the dump. I think that we're on a sign of strength / markup. That's what I think. How's Dent doing? Dent's going to follow with Ethereum. We'll take a look at Dent. I haven't looked at Dent. What about steak with barbecue? Bro, don't you come in here talking about steak with barbecue. If you put barbecue sauce on your steak, you're banned from my house. You're banished to the shadow realm. You're banished to the shadow realm. All right, Pepe, Cardano. Cardano, I like Cardano a lot. Same setup as Doge. Same setup as Bitcoin in 2013. $6 to $8. You think ETH is hitting 2,500? Yes, I think in the medium term, Ethereum hits $3,000. Good steak need no sauce. Exactly. Good steak need no sauce. Arrow go up fast, also dip fast and hard. That's right. Every yin, there's a yang. Let's look at Arrow. Dent, yeah, well, Dent has broken out. Excuse me, Arrow has broken out of this downtrend, still below the 236. Yeah, retracement is $1.50. Parabolic is $5. So this is a clear breakout. I talked about this, I think it was last month. I don't remember when it was. But I said that I thought that Arrow has bottomed. Clearly, that was the case. V-Chain phase. V-Chain is waiting to start the marquee, in my opinion. Bitcoin broke 97K. Algorand, $2 to $8. I like Algorand. Render or ICP short term and long term. ICP I like a little bit more than Render. Render, by the way, everything that we've been talking about tonight, Render's another example. Let's just do 3 of these. So we'll do on the top, we'll do Render. In the middle, we'll do Bitcoin from 2013 through 2017. And then we'll do ICP. We'll look at both of them. Again, this is the same, you guys. You will see this over and over and over and over and over again. Because the truth don't change no matter how many times I shake it. You hear me? The truth don't change. No matter how many times I say it. Okay, on the top is Render. In the middle, so this is from 2022 through 2024. In the middle is Bitcoin from 2013 through 2017. And then on the bottom, we'll do ICP, we'll do VeChain. It don't matter. It don't matter, bro. We looking at structure, not the coin. It don't matter, bro. It doesn't matter what you think. So markdown, accumulation, sign of strength, back test, sign of strength, back test, sign of strength, back test. Move higher that takes out the sign of strength. Move higher that takes out the sign of strength. Back test again, back test again, back test again. Then you start to gruel your way up, and then boom, shakalaka. That is phase E. That is the markup. 80% of the altcoins look like this. By the way, Render went all the way back around, is now on accumulation. Okay, this is accumulation. And perhaps the sign of strength. You would anticipate a back test, a move higher back test again. Most of the altcoins look like this. Penlink. Penlink, I think, is bottom. Penlink looks good. I don't remember who it was, but somebody was mad as hell back in November when I was saying take profit on Penlink. I think Penlink looks good now. It looks like it's bottom to me. XRP price prediction, $5, $8, and $12. I will be exiting. XRP is one of my biggest holdings. I have the average price of 20 cents. Publicly, video evidence, I said I would be taking profit. I sold 40% of my XRP at $3.33. Publicly, video evidence. Okay, the rest of my XRP will be sold at $5, at $8, at $12. I'm already good either way we go, though. Can you pull a fib on Penlink for me? Yeah, listen, I think Penlink looks like a really healthy accumulation right now, which is what I like to see. We went over it a little bit earlier. I don't remember. But I think it's a nice accumulation is what I think on Penlink. This is good. Very good. And this is what I anticipate is the next couple of phases. Your sign of strength would take you to about $1.40. Then your back test would be about back to $1, depending on how high you go. It's starting to kind of gruel out of this accumulation, as we can see here. A retracement would take you to about $3. And then parabolic is about $10. Listen, I think you are here. I don't remember who it was. Somebody was mad at me in November when this was the chart right here. Somebody was pissed when they were asking me. They're like, Ski, what about Penlink? And I'm like, for the love of God, take profit. Please. Please take profit. Please, for the love of God, take profit. They were like, you hate Penlink. It's like, no, I don't, bro. No, I don't. I think it's a good value here. I think this is accumulation. I think this is accumulation. I think this is a pretty good value here. I like this. This is pre-SOS and backtest. Would you invest more in XRP or Link? I think Link's a better value right now. If XRP pulls back to $1, okay, ask me that question, Jamie, in 1 minute. Okay, because I forgot to do Panka's $1. Or Jesus, I forgot to do Panka's dent. So ask me that in 1 minute. I'm going to go thorough on Chainlink versus... okay, I like... This is accumulation. And we've now made a higher low, too, on the daily. So we're making higher lows, and we've taken out this right here, which was the higher high. So this isn't tomorrow, next week. This is a really good value, though. I still think minimum retracement... I mean, bare bones, even just a half of a penny, like there's a lot of money to be made there to the 236. But I think that this will retrace. That's a 5x just to the 236. I think this will retrace, though, which is a 10x to about 1 cent. That's really all you need. If it wants to go crazy parabolic, you're talking 5 to 7 cents. Tap that screen, y'all. Crystal, thanks for the heart. Lakers, thanks for the heart.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
All right, let's go back to XRP versus Link. So let's start with XRP. So the question, re-ask the question, please. XRP or Link? Most attentive crypto guy I know. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. So the question was, would you invest more in XRP or Link? Okay. I'm going to give you my plan for XRP. By the way, guys, I just saw this too. Like, my God. This is the same macro thing that we've been talking about all night. You could call this is super macro now. But on the super macro, you could call this the SOS, the back test, the move higher, and then the back test again before having a big move higher for XRP. Okay, so I'm going to give you my plan with XRP, upside and downside. Where I'm going to be looking to exit, where I'm going to be looking to add to my position on XRP. Okay? I think, personally, XRP has bottomed because the entire market, in my opinion, has bottomed. XRP moves with the market. Okay? As much as people want to think that it doesn't or it does, it does. It just does. Okay? I think XRP has bottomed. And XRP is at the macro 618. So this isn't really excellent value to me right now for XRP. Not really excellent value right now. In the micro, it's at the 382, so it's okay value. Even in the micro, it's okay. In the macro, not great. My plan for XRP upside is to exit at $5, $8, and $12. That is where I will be exiting most of my XRP holdings because my average price is 20 cents. I can be patient with XRP. So you might be different than me, but I'm going to be very, very patient with XRP because I've already de-risked a lot at $3.33, right? Now, this fractal right here, XRP has been following this fractal since 2023. Excuse me. It's been following this since 2023. And this is the same move over here. Okay, so this move up is right here. This move up, reaccumulate, move higher, reaccumulate, big move high, right? So this fractal, I have not moved this for years. Literal years, I have not moved this. It's been following this for years. Okay? At some point, it's going to break free from this. My bet is most likely it's going to break free now. If the rest of the market has bottomed, there's a high plausibility that XRP breaks free from this. Confirmation would be $2.60. That would be a clean break of this fractal. Okay? However, if the opportunity presents itself for XRP and it goes back to, continues to follow this fractal, that would mean we're going to go back to about $1. That's where I will add spot position to my XRP. At $1. So if that opportunity presents itself, that's where I'm going to be adding. And that's where I think that the value is if the opportunity presents itself. But I'm okay not adding at all because I have a huge bag of XRP, enough to have bought my farm just by selling 40%. Okay? So that's what I'm going to be doing. If the opportunity comes and we get near $1, I'll start adding to my position again. If not, I'm going to be exiting at $5, $8, $12. As far as Link, though, Link to me is still excellent value. So I think that Link, short-term, medium-term, long-term, it's in a better value as far as a pure investment. Now, you might like the technology and what XRP is trying to do better than Link. Sure, I'll buy that. But I think they're both fundamental projects. I think they're both long-term. But just in the medium, micro term, Link to me is definitely and much better of a value here. And it has the same setup, what we've been talking about all night. Sign of strength back test, move higher, back test again. This is the same setup as Bitcoin in 2013. Same thing that we've been talking about all night, and it's below the 236. So to me, this is excellent value, where XRP is okay. Z-Back. Crystal, thank you for the fire. Thank you for the TikTok. Thank you for the heart. Yes, savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
1 to 2 for XLM. ICP 35 to 100. Rose, I think it's still 38. What do I think Link goes to? I think Link goes to low, medium, high. $38 low. Medium is $78. High is $178. Nice guy. Thank you for the goat, bro. Yes, savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
All right. Says, don't scream at me. All right. Lakers, thanks for the popular vote, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
All right, let's check out Z-Back. Fib on R-Drum. R-Drum has broken the downtrend. I think R-Drum has clearly bottomed, and it's working on the next phase. I forget what I think my price was $5 for R-Drum. We just did it. Does anyone remember? You think so? He's going to do well? Yeah, I think so. All right. ZEB. If I understand right, there's a lot of inflation on this coin, but this is accumulation. This is clear accumulation to me, actually. Retracement is 002. Parabolic is 007. What happened to Flux? Flux is a bystander of ETH lackluster performance. Says I missed it. What happened to Lakers in 5? Bro, I don't know what happened. Bro, Austin Reeves, I'm not sure where he was at. All right, so here's my analysis on R-Drum. It's been in this parallel downtrend forever. Finally broke out of it. Clearly broken out of it. Strongly broken out of it. Higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. Still below the 236. Retracement is 160. Parabolic is $5. That's my target. GRT, brother. GRT has too much inflation for me. I like the project. I like what it's doing, but just a lot of inflation. So no thank you on that. Okay, someone asked, who asked me that? Tyler, total market cap prediction. I thought you were saying R-Drum. I'm going to give you the R-Drum too. But I'll give you that. So 6 trillion is my low case. 7 is my medium. And 8.8 is my high. I just did Z-Back, brother. 007. Too much inflation on Z-Back. Yeah. Filecoin was good at one point. It was good at one point until they started dumping supply like crazy. All right. Let's give you the market cap on R-Drum. I'm going to give you the market cap. Listen, okay. So to put a nice bow on R-Drum, pay attention to market cap. Market cap is the true price. Okay, so if at one point, like, the price isn't moving, but the market cap is, you should take action. Okay? So, retracement market cap, this is the true price, is $1.1 billion. Parabolic is just shy of $4 billion, $3.93 billion. I don't care what the price is. If the market cap is at $4 billion, you should consider taking profit. Opinion on VeChain. I love VeChain right here. Short term, medium term, and long term. One of the cleanest setups. Same setup as what we've been talking about all night. I like it a lot. 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents is my targets. Caddy, thanks for the tiny diny.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
What up, Ski? What's up, fam? Good to see you. Oh, that was a good one. Ooh. Dang, bro. Snap, crackle, pop. ICP. I like ICP a lot. I think ICP is going to get to $38 to $100. Deep Book is a gym. Let's see. So too much inflation. I'll tell you off the rip. Way too much. So look at this. This is only $600 million market cap. FDV is almost $2 billion. So that's like a 3x on inflation. If we were to look at this market cap. Okay, it's okay. This is already a retracement too. It's okay. I'm not really interested. This is accumulation. This is a retracement to the 702. I would anticipate a back test probably to about 13 cents. Parabolic is 78 cents, but there's a lot of inflation, so probably more like 53 cents. So from here, 1.6x to 3x. That's what I anticipate. Am new here. Welcome. Welcome. Chocolate milk time. What's inflation on Ondo? There's inflation on Ondo for sure. You should pay attention to the market cap of Ondo, not the price. Listen, if you could learn one thing from me and only one thing. One thing and one thing only. Market cap is the true price of a coin. If market cap is parabolic, I don't care what the price is. That means the coin is parabolic. You understand? If market cap is parabolic, it does not matter what the coin is at. The price is parabolic. Do you understand? Market cap is the true price of a coin. Okay? Ondo's retracement market cap is $4 billion. Ondo's parabolic market cap is $10 billion. If at any point in time, Ondo gets to $10 billion market cap, I don't care what the price is, that's parabolic. You should consider taking profit. Do you believe in the saying, time in the market beats time in the market? Absolutely, I believe that. Targets for H&T. Gala, too much inflation. Bitcoin hit its mark, now headed to new lows. I don't agree. At 74.4, I said that Bitcoin would go to 95 to 100K. Video evidence documented. Video evidence documented April 7th, 2025. Let's look at H&T. We need ETH to run. I agree. No, my Bitcoin short is closed. I should have not listened to you when you said Sui was done back in November. Really? Okay. I think that I already said that Sui's bottom, by the way, last month. Okay, so listen. The buying climax, that's what this is. This is the buying climax. This is the upthrust. This is the UTAD. This is when I said Sui was done. At the buying climax. That's the buying climax right there. This is the UT. This is the UTAD. This is distribution. This is your markdown. This is accumulation. A month ago, I said that Sui has bottomed. So when I said that the buying climax was in, you missed another 40%. What are you talking about, bro? By the way, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what measures the top. Sui down 81% from November to this day. Come on, bro. You just want to be mad at somebody. That's it. Just be honest. Just say, I got wrecked and I want to be mad at you. Some guy in his basement. Just say that, bro. Buying climax, upthrust, textbook goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD, textbook goes higher than the upthrust. Hear me out. Buying climax is the climax of buying. Come on now. I did not say it in October. I said it in November. You know how I know? Because I successfully opened a short right here and made money on this move right here. You know how I know? I made money on this short right here. Come on, man. I might watch Accountant 2. Ski, what up, bro? If Bitcoin breaks 97 to 100K, next stop 108. Okay. I don't know that that's true. Okay, the next stop is 118. But the 702 is a huge level in Fibonacci's. That's 100K. That's, man. I have a hard time. It's very plausible. But the 702 is a textbook place to get rejected. One. And two, 100K is such a psychological level. I think we're going to at least spend a little bit of time there. Once we do break 100K, I do think it's going to go pretty quick. How about Prime or Immutable X, my brother? Uh-oh. I'm not really interested in trading Bitcoin right now, to be honest with you. It's in between a range. That's my honest opinion. I like trading at accumulation. That's what I like to do. I like trading the SOS. But we already got it. So we need to see restructure to form here. Prediction on VeChain, 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. Low, medium, high. In your opinion, what phase of Wyckoff is Solnick in? What's the next leg up taking it to? It's in accumulation. The next leg, the next micro leg, takes us north of $30 to $40 million market cap. Everyone expects a back test. That's exactly why the market makers aren't going to have it. If everyone expects it, that's what you are correct. Ultimately, like, listen, I'm very bullish, medium, long on Bitcoin. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we're not hot. That going from 74 to 97 in 20-something days is nothing. That's 4 years of stock market gains. You know what I'm saying? Where do you see Bitcoin during the next bear market? Depends on how high it goes. Best case is 50K. Best case. The very best. Do you look over Solnick? Just got in a few minutes ago. I like Solnick's my number one 100x play. Period. It's markdown, break of this, higher low, higher low. Beautiful. H&T price prediction. Seems to be hitting some mild resistance at 97K. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, Eli. I don't have any interest in trading Bitcoin right now. Because it did my macro move that I was waiting for. At 74.4, I said, we're going to the sign of strength. The sign of strength is 95 to 100K. We're here. Right? So it needs to get some structure now. I don't have any interest. We could backtest or we could just bust right through. Both are equally as likely to me. Neither are great reads on trading. So I don't have real interest in trading this right now. Thank you for the heart. Yes, Savages. Make sure you guys drop a follow.
Cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Don't just lurk. Drop a follow. Subscribe on YouTube. We're live 6 days a week. I forgot to do H&T. My bad. I like H&T seems to be broken this downtrend too. Selling climax, secondary test, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. Micro looks very good. Macro looks even better. Retracement for H&T is $25. You could take that to the bank. Literally take it to the bank. 5x. Parabolic though is $66 to $100. But I would definitely de-risk at the retracement levels for sure. Ski, what do you think about EOS? EOS, I'm biased against EOS because EOS and Dash are some of my biggest losses of all time. So I don't have any interest in it because I bought the top on those back in 2017. LCX retracement. I don't remember what the LCX retracement is. I think LCX goes to $1 to $2. All right. We are going to switch to subscribers only on TikTok. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I'll be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. with Alex Central Time. And then I'll also be live 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm live every single day, 6 days per week. Uploading 10 to 20 minute videos every day. Uploading 5+ shorts per day. So lots of value that I'm trying to add to you guys. I don't get everything right, but I have a pretty damn good track record. So drop a follow and subscribe. ADA. I like ADA a lot, Oscar. I think it's a beautiful setup. Same as VeChain, same as ICP, same as Bitcoin back in 2013. Ultimately, I think ADA gets to $6 to $8. I'll be exiting my ADA $2, $4, $6, $8. Danny boy, thank you for the goat, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Appreciate you. Yeah, ADA, same setup. It's the same as Bitcoin right here. We talked about this all night. But the truth don't change no matter how many times I say it. Here we are. Oh, I just saw your boy Ski in the chat. That's not me. I'm not going to message you. That's a scammer from Pakistan or Kakistan. It is not me. I tried to block him, but I missed him. That is a low-life scammer who, instead of adding value to people, they want to take value from people. And that's why they will never make it. All right. Where's ADA? Same thing. Markdown, accumulation, sign of strength, back test of the prior range, back test, reaccumulate, move higher than the sign of strength, move higher than the sign of strength, back test, reaccumulates. In my opinion, ADA on this structure is right here. Just starting to gruel its way higher. This is the end of the story. Oh, still not done. Oh, still not done. Oh, still. Oh. Still not done. Your thoughts on Bitcoin dominance in the micro? Says I'm not on TikTok at the moment. Can't mod. How did you learn to navigate your emotions when you first got into crypto? That's a great question. The answer is by journaling. Constantly journaling, constantly logging your how you feel at certain prices. Like log the event, what took place, what the price was, how you thought it would happen, and then go back and log what actually happened. And you do that enough times, you'll start to get a clean understanding of how this game is actually played. Bitcoin dominance in the micro. Of course, Bitcoin dominance is like the key, right? It's pretty hot, man. Like super hot. We have a bearish divergence. Let's go super micro. Let's go to the 5 hour or the 3 hour even. It's still just working on this UTAD here. Where this stops, in all likelihood, it's probably going to be 65.8. Devs on White Rock, same as rug pulled sinks. Be careful. I don't know anything about White Rock, but I do know that Alex said to not be a part of it, so I'll trust his instinct on that. Is the 4-year cycle really done and over with? No alt season. If the 4-year cycle is done and over with, this is what it means, bro. People want to talk out of both sides of their mouth. Unknown. If the 4-year cycle is over with, here's what it means. Here's where we are. If you want to tell me that the 4-year cycle is over with, okay, I'll listen. I'll buy it for $1. That means that this is distribution, just like 2021, April and November. This is your markdown. This is your markdown. Luna went to 0 is your selling climax. FTX going to 0 is your spring. We're somewhere in here. If there's no 4-year cycle, we're deep in accumulation and the bottom is well in. So no alt season. I don't agree. We have the stipulation. We have everything. Ethereum has finally broken multiple months of a downtrend. The DXY has finally broken multiple year of support. Gold has finally topped out with a bearish divergence. Parabolic level. ETH Dominance has finally found support at 5-year low. Bitcoin has clearly bottomed. I think it's a lot closer than you think. I'm asking you a question, buddy. Pretty hot. I'm not hostile. I'm passionate. I'm not hostile towards anybody. To me, this is where we're at. Sign of strength of the bottoming structure for Bitcoin. But no, I'm not hostile towards you, bro. I'm just addressing it with passion. Yeah, this has been this is the longest one we've done in a while. We did the full 2 hours this time. Can you believe it? Don't yell at ski benches, dump trucks. Just 315 for reps, that's all. Stop yelling at me. HB, thanks for the hat and mustache. Yeah!
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Do you think we see a crypto summer or do we get a sell in May and go away? Is it valid this year? Based on where Bitcoin's at, I would think that, and also too, like, to the point of who, listen, I don't want to predict by time, but if I'm giving you my intuition, there's a lot of people saying sell in May, go away. And I do think firmly Bitcoin has bottomed. So if you're asking me which is the higher likelihood, I think we get a crypto summer. Because I don't think people are anticipating that. Morning from Bangkok. Prediction on Polkadot. My girlfriend's husband's in the driveway. What should I do? Run, bro. Run. Dot. I like Dot here. Same, dude, same setup as ADA, same as Link, same as VeChain, same as Bitcoin. We've been talking about this all night. This is a beautiful setup. Retracement is the minimum here. That's a 5x. Take that to the bank. Literally take it to the bank. Literally take it to the bank. Also, a lot of people are calling Dot to be dead. That's music to my ears. Price discovery is a 13x. All right, if you're new here, I go live 6 days a week. I upload 10 to 20 minute video every single day. I upload 5 shorts a day. I have a pretty good track record. I get some things wrong, but I have a good track record. 9 times I've called the bottom. 8 times I was correct on the day. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but I do my very best. I keep my emotions out of this game. I try my hardest not to be moved like retail and bring you guys the most value that I possibly can. And I'll live and die by my sword. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. Do not get scammed. I have nothing to sell you. But that's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless. I'm out.